Hello, 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 and welcome to the wonderful Wednesday broadcast of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. So glad to be here with you this evening. Hopefully, you had a terrific Tuesday. And so far, that your wonderful Wednesday was, in fact, wonderful. So my Tuesday was okay. I did homework because guess what? My classes started back up on Monday. So I was trying to get some homework done before it was due. So Monday, I didn't have anything due. And then Tuesday, I did I did Thursday's homework on Tuesday because I did Tuesday's homework on Monday, which is what I'm trying to keep up doing, okay? So my young ones, please keep encouraging Miss Hope to stay ahead of the game, okay? But my Tuesday was pretty good. Wednesday was really busy. The beginning of my Wednesday up until school was out, was really busy. But I had some time to breathe, relax, before I come on to be with all of you wonderful people, okay? So, how was your day? Hopefully it was wonderful. I did get a chance to go outside. Hopefully, my young ones, I hope you got to go outside today after school was done because it's a really nice day, at least here in Philadelphia. It was maybe close to 50 degrees or a little over, and it felt really nice. I had to go take something out to the trash can, as a matter of fact, and then I turned around and the sun hit my face. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to stand here and feel the breeze and look at all the green grass and let the sun hit my face. And it was so, so wonderful. Okay. So I got some rejuvenation from the sun rays, from all that vitamin D. Well, my friends, we are here today. Happy Women's History Month. Gotta remind you of that because it's going to be Women's History Month all month long. But of course, like we said about Black History Month, all of our history is all year long because women didn't just make history, they're making history right now. So we're going to talk about some of the women who have made history, and these two women are still making history, as a matter of fact. So if you saw the teaser, you saw our books. Before we get any further into Miss Hope's Reading Hour, you know what's coming. We got to do our disclaimer. All the wonderful music that you hear and the wonderful books we will be reading. Unfortunately, Miss Hope's Reading Hour do not own the rights to any of them, but guess what they're here for? Your listening and reading enjoyment. That's what they're here for. So, also, it's so crazy how quickly we go through these books. Go through them. Remember last week, before we had the chapter book, and we were reading 3 books in a day? We're going through them, people, even the most recent shipment. So if you look down here at the ticker, you will see how you can donate via Cash App to Miss Hope's Reading Hour Library. You can donate via Cash App. The Cash App handle is HopeGM, HOPEGM, all one word, all lowercase. And you can donate by sending digital gift cards to the email that's in the ticker, or you can email me if you want to send me books. Of course you can send me books, and then I can give you all the information you need to send books directly to me. All right, now, my friends, let us get to the books. So, our first book is called Mia Hamm, Winners Never Quit. Mia Hamm, Winners Never Quit. She is a famous soccer player. This book is by Mia Hamm, I believe, yes. And the illustrations are by Carol Thompson. So we will learn about Mia Hamm. And our next book is the next book is called Malala's Magic Pencil. Isn't that a pretty picture? Malala's Magic Pencil. And this book is by Malala, I'm going to mess up her last name. Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai. Illustrated by Kara Scott. I hope I got that right. I don't want to butcher people's names. Beautiful book, and we will learn about Malala, the true story of one girl's wish for a better world. Girl, Women's History Month, but we're talking about a girl. She did a lot of great things. We're going to find out more about Malala. And of course, our new chapter book, Patina. Patty Ain't No Junk, y'all. By Jason Reynolds. We've already found out in the first chapter that Patina is a little spicy. Okay, so we're going to find out more about Patina and her family and her team as we read this chapter book. I have a feeling this is going to be a really good book. Okay, so let us get to our first book, shall we? Got a little tickle in my throat. Winners Never Quit by Mia Hamm. Illustrations by Carol Thompson. And this is a Scholastic Books book. Mia loved basketball. Mia loved baseball. But most of all, Mia loved soccer. She played every day with her brothers and sisters. Wow, she's a pretty athletic little one. Tap, tap, tap. Her shoes kept the ball right where she wanted it. Then, smack, she'd kick the ball straight into the net. Goal! Everybody on her team would cheer. I guess so. A goal is like a home run or a 3-point shot in basketball. But sometimes it didn't work that way. One day, no matter how hard she tried, Mia couldn't score a goal. The ball sailed to the left of the net or to the right, or her sister Lovedy, the goalie, saved the ball with her hands. No goal, no cheering. Too bad, Mia, her brother Garrett said. Better luck next time. But Mia didn't want better luck next time. She wanted better luck now. Ooh, she looks pretty upset. I guess so if you're used to getting goals. I quit, said Mia. You can't quit, said Lovedy. Then we'll only have 2 people on our team. Come on, Mia, her sister Caroline pleaded. You always quit when you start losing. Just keep playing, Mia, Garrett said. It'll be fun. But losing wasn't fun. Mia stomped back to the house. Quitter! Loveday yelled. Mia didn't care. She'd rather quit than lose. Oh, that's not a good way to think about it. The next day, Mia ran outside, ready to play soccer. When she got there, the game had already started. Hey, she yelled. Why didn't you wait for me? Garrett stopped playing. Sorry, Mia, he said, but quitters can't play on my team. Yeah, said Loveday. If you can't learn to lose, you can't play. Garrett passed the ball to Tiffany. Martin ran to steal it. Tiffany dashed around him and took a shot at the goal. Loveday blocked it. Mia just stood by and watched. The next day, Garrett picked Mia first for his team. Mia got the ball. She dribbled down the field. Smack! She kicked the ball toward the goal, and Loveday caught it. No goal, no cheering. Too bad, Mia, Garrett said. Better luck next time. Mia felt tears in her eyes. She's going to quit, whispered Loveday. I knew it. Mia still hated losing, but she didn't hate losing as much as she loved soccer. Ready to play? Asked Garrett. Mia nodded. Garrett grinned at her. He passed her the ball. Mia ran down the field, tap, 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 with her toes. The ball stayed right with her, like a friend. She got ready to kick it into the goal. Mia kicked the ball as hard as she could. Maybe she'd score the goal. Maybe she wouldn't. But she was playing. And that was more important than winning or losing. Because winners never quit. The end. Oh, a note from the author. Oh, most of these books that we've been reading have notes from the author. Hi, I hope you enjoyed reading Winners Never Quit. While playing soccer with my family, I learned the importance of being part of a team and how to lose gracefully. Throughout my soccer career, these lessons have helped me succeed. I have often said there is no me in Mia because in soccer and in life, I could never do it alone. Whatever you love to do, remember, winners never quit. Mia Hamm. Wow. And here's a picture of Mia, and the caption says, Mia focuses on the goal with the ball at her feet at the 2003 Women's World Cup tournament, where it was said she played the best soccer of her career. Look, right there, that's her playing on the U.S. soccer team. And here's a picture of her on the back cover. Soccer is a really hard sport if any of you have ever played it. I've played it like in gym and with the kids out in the yard. It is hard. There's a lot of running. Imagine all that running on a field as big as a football field with one little ball and trying to get it into. Oh, I've watched a whole soccer tournament before. Whew, I get tired just watching it. But the lesson from Mia that winners never quit is a very good lesson, because you're not always going to win, but you never have an opportunity to win if you keep quitting when you lose. You have to learn to be a gracious loser, meaning that you realize that just because you lost doesn't make you a loser. So you don't have to be mean or nasty or angry or quit. It's just, I didn't win this time, but next time could be a totally different story. Such a great lesson in that book. Winners never quit. All right, our next book, Malala's Magic Pencil. And do you know that this girl was a Nobel Peace Prize winner? Girl, a girl, okay? All right. Do you believe in magic? When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. How I wanted a magic pencil too. Wow, that'd be a pretty amazing thing to have, right? If I had a magic pencil, I would use it to put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me. Stop time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning. I think we would all do that. Erase the smell of the trash dump near our house. All good uses for a magic pencil. And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother, the best buildings in the valley for my father, so he could open many schools where children would study for free. A proper ball, so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old sock stuffed with rubbish. Every night before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own. And every morning I would wake up and check my cupboard, but the magic pencil was never there. One day, I was throwing away potato peels and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies, and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes, when I saw a girl about my age sorting trash into piles. Nearby, Boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings. I would not want to have to do that. When my father returned home from work, I told him what I'd seen. It made him sad. "Abba," I said. "Yes, Johnny," he said back. I always liked it when he called me dear one. "Why haven't I seen that girl in my class?" "Because," he said, but he didn't finish right away. "Because, Johnny, in our country, not everyone sends their daughters to school. And some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find. If they went to school, their families would go hungry. School was my favorite place, but I had never considered myself lucky to be able to go." My father had always said, Malala will live free as a bird. Now I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night, I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how when I was older, I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I came from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had a magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war, poverty, and hunger. Then I would draw boys and girls together as equals. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons. Wow, that must have been scary. One by one, girls stopped coming to school. "Abba, where are all the students?" "They don't feel safe here anymore, Johnny." "How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school?" If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought they might help us. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? I wrote about what it felt like to be scared to walk to school, and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country, sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. Wow, now that's brave. My voice became so powerful that the dangerous men tried to silence me, but they failed. Pages. And now my voice is louder than ever, louder because people have joined me, and together we make a chorus, standing up for what we believe in. We raise our voices for those in need, help people in danger, even if they are an ocean away, and think of the world as a family. Do you still believe in magic? I do. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and help me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for in my words and in my work. I am Malala. I've always wished I could make the world a more peaceful place. And every day I work to make my wish come true. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Wow. I think that's a picture of Malala speaking at the United Nations. Wow. A message from Malala. Dear friend, as a child, I used to watch a show called Shaka Laka Boom Boom. It was about a boy named Sanju who could make anything real by drawing it with a magic pencil he found. Sanju and his friends were always getting into trouble, and the magic pencil would help them get out of it. But my early childhood was mostly trouble-free. I grew up in the beautiful Swat Valley in northwest Pakistan, the sister of two cheeky little brothers and the only daughter of a resilient mother and inspiring father who was a school principal. Trouble came into my valley when I was 10 years old, and girls were forbidden from going to school. At first, I thought, what can I do? I'm just a child. As I watched my father speak out for girls' education, I realized I had a voice too, and I wanted to use it. I believed then, as I believe now, that all children should have access to education. When we are young, we feel powerless. We rely on adults to do the serious work. However, the real danger threatened my right to go to school. However, when real danger threatened my right to go to school, I felt stronger than ever, and I found power in my voice. Once I wished for Sanju's magic pencil. Now I know that when you find your voice, every pencil can be magic. I hope that my story inspires you to find the magic in your own life and to always speak up for what you believe in. Magic is everywhere in the world, in knowledge, beauty, love, and peace. The magic is in you, in your words, in your voice. Malala. Wow, what an amazing story. Isn't that what I keep telling you, my young ones? So here is a picture of Malala. Isn't she beautiful? So there are two things I love about this story of Malala's magic pencil. I love that as a child, she realized that she has a voice and that she can do something to make a difference for all of her friends and the other girls who wanted to go to school. The thing I also loved is her dad. Dads, you are so important to your daughters. There are so many people in the world who tell girls, let me sit up a little bit, who tell girls, that you can't do as much as boys can, or you're not as smart as boys and things like that. But dads, you are so important to daughters because you can show them that you find value in them and in women, and that women can do anything, and that they are powerful, and that they have a right to education and to be paid the way they should be paid and treated with respect. Dads, that is your responsibility. And your daughters learn how men should treat them by the way you treat them and the way you treat women around them. You are super important to your daughters. And when you make them feel strong and powerful and like they can do anything, there is nothing that can stop them. Okay? So, dads, this is a book during Women's History Month that you can read with your daughters no matter what their age. And then you guys can have a chat and talk about how they feel and how they feel about their voice and if they feel like their voice is important. And then you can reinforce that, yes, your voice is important and that you're powerful and that you can do anything you set your mind to. So, Miss Hope's reading our dad friends. This is a good book for you and your daughters or your nieces or your goddaughters to read together, or your granddaughters. Okay? All right. Great book. And her story is amazing. A child who got a Nobel Peace Prize. That is amazing. Amazing. Okay? There's many people who don't get a Nobel Peace Prize until they are old and have gray hair. Okay? Well, my friends, it is time for us to get to our chapter book. Patina, Patty ain't no junk, because she's not. All right, and so as we read, we are going to find out what makes people say, or unless she says it about herself, that Patty ain't no junk, okay? So, in the beginning of this book, we're still in chapter 1, we started learning about Patina and her sister Maddie, and how her uncle has adopted them. And how she does her sister Maddie's hair, and she's a part of a track team. So let's find out some more about Patina and her family and what's going on in her life. Patina, Patty Ain't No Junk by Jason Reynolds. Continuing with chapter 1. The other reason I always do Maddie's hair on Sundays is because that's when we see Mom. And she don't want to see Maddie looking like she ain't never been nowhere. So after Maddie's hair is done, we get dressed. As in dressed up, all the way up. Maddie puts on one of her church dresses. White patent leather shoes, that most people only wear on Easter Sunday, but for us, for Ma, every Sunday is like Easter Sunday. I put on a dress too, run a comb through my hair until it cooperates. Ugly black ballerina flats because Ma don't want me looking fast in the house of the Lord. Then Momly drives us across town to Barnaby Terrace, my old neighborhood. Barnaby Terrace is fine. I don't really know what else to say about it except for the fact that there's nothing really to say about it. Ain't nobody rich, that's for sure. But ain't nobody really poor neither. Everybody's just regular. Regular people going to regular jobs, having regular kids who go to a regular school, grow up to be regular people with regular jobs, and on and on and on. And I guess everything was pretty regular to me about me too, until 6 years ago. Follow me. I just turned 6, and me and my dad were having one of our famous invisible cupcake parties. Kind of like how little girls on old TV shows be having tea parties. But you know how it don't ever really be tea in the cups? Like that. Except I didn't have a tea set, and my mom wouldn't let us use her real teacups, which were really just random coffee mugs. Plus, my dad always said tea don't even taste good enough to pretend to drink it. He also said tea and eat are made of the same letters anyway. So pretending to eat was pretty much the same as pretending to drink. And what better thing to pretend to eat than cupcakes? And that's what we always had, imaginary cupcakes. But on this night, my mother cut the party short because it was a school night. Plus, she was pregnant with Maddie at the time and needed my father to massage her feet. So he whispered in my ear, "Sleep tight, sweet pancake. Your mama and the waffle need me." Then he kissed me goodnight, first on the forehead, then on one cheek, then on the other. I don't know what happened next. My guess is that after rubbing Ma's feet, he kissed her goodnight too, and Maddie, the waffle, who was probably being all fidgety in Ma's stomach. I bet Dad smooched right on the belly button, then rolled over and went to sleep, but never woke up. Like, ever. It was crazy. And if we had been allowed to drink pretend tea from my mother's real cups, they all would have been shattered the next morning after she woke me up, her face wet with tears, and blurted, "Something's happened." I would have smashed each and every one of them cups on the floor. And I would have smashed more of them 2 years later when my mom had 2 toes cut off her right foot. And 6 months after that, when she had that whole foot cut off. And 6 months after that, 3 years ago, when my mother had both her legs chopped off, which, I'm telling you, would have left the whole stupid cabinet empty. Broken mugs everywhere. Nothing left to drink from. But I didn't. Instead, I just swallowed it all and wished this was all some kind of invisible pretend something. But it wasn't. And just so you don't get the wrong idea, it's not like my mom just wanted her legs cut off. She got the sugar. Well, it's really a disease called diabetes, but she calls it the sugar. So I call it the sugar. Plus, I like that better than diabetes because diabetes got the word die in it, and I hate that word. The sugar broke Ma's lower extremities, which is how doctors say legs. It just went crazy all in her body. Stopped the blood flow to her feet. I used to have to rub and grease greased them at night, just like my dad used to. And it was like putting lotion on two tree trunks, dry and cracked, swollen and dark, like she'd been standing in cold. But at some point, she just didn't feel them anymore. And I went from moisturizing them to trying to rub them back to life. And after that, they were basically, I guess the best way to explain it is to just say, dead. Her feet had died. Like I said, I hate that word, but it ain't no way else to say it. I guess death can travel, can spread like a fire in the body, so the doctors had to go ahead and cut her legs off. They call it amputate, which for some reason makes me think of something growing, not something being chopped, just above the knee to keep more of her from dying. Maddie's only 6 now, and ever since she was born, I've been helping out the best I could with her. But with Ma losing her toes and feet, helping out became straight up taken care of. I'm talking about keeping lists in my head of things I had to take care of. To do, make sure Maddie bathed. To do, make sure Maddie's dressed. To do, make sure Maddie's fed. To do, everything. But after Ma lost her legs, my godparents, my dad's brother Tony and his wife Emily, stepped in and took over as our sole guardians, which the first time I heard it, I thought it was soul guardians, which I guess is just as good, kind of like guardian angels. I bet Uncle Tony and Auntie Emily, who Maddie used to call Mama Emily, which became Momly, had no idea that when they said they would be our godparents, they were inheriting this drama. I bet they just thought they'd have to give us gifts on random days that wasn't our birthday or Christmas, slip us $10 bills just because, stuff like that. Not take care of us all the way. That's a lot. But they always acted like they were cool with it. Like this is what they signed up for. And we grateful, even though I still got to look out for Maddie because, I just do. I still keep a list in my brain because Momly can't do black hair for nothing. Why am I telling you this long story? Oh, I remember. Because on Sundays, like I said, Maddie's got to be right for Ma. To do, dance like my mother's watching or like I'm killing cockroaches. Once we get to Ma's house, our old other house, it goes the same way every time. Maddie jumps out and runs to the door, her red beads clacking with every step, the foil on the ends glinting like each braid was a 4th of July sparkler. I jump out behind her. Only ring once, I tell her, just because ringing anybody's doorbell 10 million times is one of Maddie's favorite things to do. But with Ma, a person who can't walk, it comes across as a hurry up, which is rude. I know, Maddie says, acting like she wasn't about to go hammer time on the doorbell. Come in, Ma's muffled voice comes through the wooden door. By the time she opens it, Momly has parked the car and is standing with us, still rubbing sleep off her face, dressed in scrubs and those weird wiffle ball shoes that look too uncomfortable to walk in. But that's Momly. Praise the Lord, Ma sings, wheeling the chair back to give us enough space to come inside. Maddie gives the first big hug. She always does, and Ma receives it as if she just caught a wedding bouquet. Maddie, my waffle. Big smile. Girl, you getting bigger every time I see you and prettier. But you just saw me last week. Yep, and you bigger and prettier, Ma says, beaming. It's the same thing every week. You would think they'd switch it up, but they don't. It's a routine we all need, I guess. Something to remind us that even though life with Momly and Uncle Tony is good, Ma is who we are, where we from, blood. Once Maddie gets done gushing, I bend down and give Ma a kiss on the cheek. Her skin is dry, rough on my lips, and I know better than to put any gloss on because that's also too fast for church. She smells like flowers dipped in cake batter and hair grease. Familiar. Hi, baby, she says, taking my hand. Hi, Ma. I squeeze. She squeezes back. I wheel Ma, always wearing a colorful patterned dress, her hair in fresh straw curls, out to the passenger side of the car. She can do it herself, but I like to do it for her. Just used to it, I guess. Sometimes Momly tries to help, but she knows this is my thing. Take care of Maddie, then take care of Ma. Oh, excuse me. I open the car door, put the brakes on the chair so it don't roll out from under my mother as she hoists herself up and leans into the car. Then she whips that left leg, what's left of her leg in. After that, I check to make sure none of her dress is hanging out. Then I close the door and roll the wheelchair to the back of the car where I fold it up and put it in the trunk. There's an art to this, because if I do it wrong, the wheels of the chair bump up against me. And the wheels of the chair bump up against me, it'll dirty my dress. And then I'll have to hear Ma's mouth the whole way to church and back about how cleanliness is next to godliness. But I always do it right, because ain't nobody got time for no lectures. Next comes the pre-church small talk. So how was the week? Ma, who always immediately turns off the car radio. Momly only listens to talk anyway. Asks Momly as we back out of the driveway. This, of course, is a real false start, a fake beginning to a conversation, only because Ma and Momly speak like 6,000 times a week. But this was Ma's way of opening up a discussion in a behind the back kind of way, to say whatever she wanted to say to me and Maddie. That way, it don't seem like Momly's a snitch, even though I know Momly be snitching. I mean, she's our aunt and our adopted mother. Blabbing just comes with the territory. Nothing crazy to report. Maddie brought home all fours in school, and that was Momly's lead in this week. Fours, huh? Is that like an A? Ma asked this all the time, and I couldn't tell if she really had a hard time keeping up with the grading system in our charter school or if she was just being shady. She always called the grading system new wave and said things like, charter don't mean smarter. Ma cracked the window to let some air in. Momly's car always smelled like a freshly scrubbed bathtub, like clean but poisonous. Cleanliness was next to godliness, huh? So next to godliness that you might die from it. Maddie and me were used to it, but it irritated Ma every single time she was in the car. Yes, Ma, that's an A, remember? Maddie piped up from the back seat. Ma didn't turn around. She just nodded. And Patty, well, she's doing great on the new track team. Patty, did you bring the ribbon? I caught Momley's eye in the rearview mirror. She knew I ain't bring no ribbon. What I look like bringing a ribbon to church? I knew what she was doing. But if there was one thing I didn't want to talk about this Sunday, it was running. Like I said, I'm a sore loser and petty too, and now instantly annoyed. I forgot, I said flat. Well, let me tell you, Bev, she came second in what about grades? Is she getting fours or fives or whatever? My mother cut Momley off mid-brag. Ugh. If there's a second thing I didn't want to talk about this Sunday, it was school. We're getting there. She's still getting used to it, still adjusting. The it they were talking about was my new school. Up until this year, I was at Barnaby Elementary, then Barnaby Middle, which are both public schools in my old neighborhood. Ma thought it would be best if I transitioned smoothly out of living with her by keeping me at my regular school where all my friends go. Brianna, Dina, and especially my day one, Ashley, who everybody calls Cotton. Me and Cotton been friends since kindergarten, but back when Lou Richardson's mother was our babysitter, and she used to help us make up dance routines to 90s R&B. Dance routines we still know, but I don't know. Wait, let me get that right. Dance routines we still know, but I don't know no more. But Cotton still does. And without me at school with her, who's she gonna tape her bathroom? Who's gonna tape her bathroom dance-offs? Better yet, who was gonna blame her stinky farts on the boys? Who was gonna tell her that her hair is gonna be cute as soon as the curls fall? Maybe Brianna and Dina would. But that wasn't their job. It was mine. But I couldn't do it like I needed to because now I was in a different part of the city, somewhat settled into life with Uncle Tony and Mommy, and going to this corny new school they picked because it was a much shorter drive over in sunny Lancaster's neighborhood. He's another newbie on the track team, which means from Barnaby Terrace to Bougie Terrace. Well, the school was really called Chester Academy, which was a dead giveaway. It was bougie. I mean, the cornballs who named the place thought it was too good to even call it a school, an academy, whatever. Anyway, being at Chester was different, like real different. First of all, we had to wear uniforms, pleated skirts, and stiff button-ups. And it was all girls. And let's just say, not too many of them had real nicknames. Not too many of them had mothers that smelled like hair grease. Hair gel? Yes. But hair grease? Nah. Well, I suggest she get used to it soon, or there won't be no more running, Ma said. Momly caught my eyes again in the mirror, winked. She knew Ma was hard on me about school, but she also knew I had to run. As Momly pulled up in front of the church, she said what she always said every week. Y'all say a prayer for me and your uncle. And my mother said what she said in response. Lord knows y'all need it. Momly and Uncle never went to church. But when my mother made the arrangements for me and Maddie to live with them, it was under the condition that we wouldn't miss a service. A whole lot of talk about grace and faith and mercy and salvation, which to me all just equaled shouting, clapping, and singing in a building built to be a sweatbox. A constant reminder that all that hair combing I did before coming was a waste of time, as it was a guarantee that I'd be leaving with my curls shriveled up into a frizzy, lopsided cloud. Because of my mother's wheelchair, we had to sit in the aisle while she had to sit in the aisle while me and Maddie sat in a pew. And throughout the whole beginning of the service, Ma would peer down the pew to make sure we were behaving, which was hard because we always sat in the row with the stinky Thomases, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, then smelling like they just puked up mothballs as long as I've known them. They always took the back pew, which is where we sat. So, yeah, most of the time I was sitting real still praying to God not to let me suffocate. Lord, please bless them with some soap, some perfume, anything. Make a miracle happen. Or, what have I done to deserve this? Father, why hast thou forsaken me? We're going to end there. Well, as I said before, Patty is kind of feisty. So now we find out some more about her family, that her dad passed away, that her mother has diabetes and it affected her body where she had to get parts of her legs amputated. And so that's the reason why she's living with her aunt and uncle. And her transition is not too easy. She's gone from one neighborhood that she knows and loves to another neighborhood that she does not know. So there are a lot of things that we have to look out for and learn about. How is she going to handle this transition? How is she going to handle living with her aunt and uncle? Is her mother going to be okay? How are things going to work out on her track team? Are her grades going to improve so she can even stay on the track team? There is a lot to learn about Miss Patina, and we will continue to learn about her on our Fabulous Friday broadcast. Well, my friends, we have read some great books today. We read about Mia Hamm, a famous soccer player, Malala, let me get her last name right, Yousafzai, who helped girls in Pakistan in the town that she lived in, talked about how they should be able to go to school, so much in her writing that she won the Nobel Peace Prize. And we're learning more about the strength and resilience in the transition that's taking place with Miss Patina. Well, I am so glad I got to read these great books with you today. And remember, winners never quit. Young ladies, you have a voice that you can use. Dads, you can help those voices be strong. And we might learn how to handle some of life's difficult situations with Miss Patina. Until our Fabulous Friday broadcast, thank you so much for being here on this Hope's Reading Hour with me. Enjoy the rest of your wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you right back here on Fabulous Friday on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Until then, my friends, I will see you next time.